Hello, friend. It is great. Hello, friend. It is great to connect with you again today. I see that I think I am living. I am streaming live on YouTube. So if you are seeing this, just give me a thumbs up or share something in the chat to let me know that you can see me and hear me. I would really appreciate that. I was going to wait a moment here while YouTube lets everybody know that I am live and giving those people a chance who want to join. So today I wanted to kind of come on and share about being satisfied or being and living in the fullness of passion and joy. There's been some things happening over the past, I would say, month or so that have really led to me asking myself this very question. And interestingly enough, back in 2018, I was faced with this same question. And at that point in time, I was working in a full-time corporate job in IT and really wanted to make the leap into coaching people and doing that for a living as a way to earn my living, as that's what I thought I would really enjoy. And that's what I've been doing. And I love that. I love doing this kind of work, serving people powerfully and bringing the best out and empowering people to become their best and to step through their fear. And so over the course of the last month, there has been actually, I'll share for now. Over the course of the past month, I've had some realizations and I've had to ask myself, in some of the things that I'm involved in, are they serving me well or are they holding me back in some way? And the question too, like, what am I feeling attached to? If you've been following me on Facebook or in my online group, ProEmpowerment Online, you will have seen that I've been kind of talking about feeling attached to things and kind of going through this discernment process. Are these attachments healthy? Are they serving me well? Are they increasing my energy to allow me to feel that I'm being fulfilled and living in passion and joy? Or are they draining my energy in any way and really taking me away from the things that I really would love to do? And in the process of like kind of going through those attachments, trying to really understand, whether it's things I'm doing or it's relationships that I'm holding, whatever it is, whatever those attachments are, going through that process can be really challenging. Because when you recognize that you have an attachment, and there is this resistance to let it go, even though you recognize maybe it's not serving you well, it's not serving you in the best possible way, it's not leading you to any kind of passion and joy. It's time to get curious around that. Because if I'm doing something just to be satisfied, usually there is something behind that. There is a limiting belief that is keeping me in that position of just being satisfied, as opposed to really wanting to embrace being and living in my joy and passion. Or if there's not a limiting belief, there is a fear that is there that is waiting to be discovered. And so I'm kind of curious if there is something right now that you are experiencing where maybe there is some limiting belief or some fear around something that you feel attached to. Maybe it's a job or maybe it's a relationship, and you recognize that you need to make some kind of change in this. Maybe you need to let it go or you need to make a change, but there is something there that causes you to hesitate, to stop. And maybe it is a limiting belief, maybe it is a fear. Whatever that is, share that with me in the comments below, because I want to encourage you. This is something that I've been kind of discerning for myself in a couple of different areas of my life. What am I attached to? What is serving me well? And what am I willing to let go of? So that in my letting go of just being satisfied, I then become open to receive the joy and the passion of being and living, in what I really want to be doing and who I want to become, and really investing into that as much as possible. It's really interesting as I began to look at this, because I thought that I slayed this back in 2018 when I was faced with, do I get another IT job when I was laid off without severance, or do I just jump right into this? I was still earning my certifications at the time. I didn't know everything at the time. I was still learning. But I trusted where my heart was leading me, and I jumped into where my heart was leading me to go. So I thought I slayed this, but apparently I didn't, because there are still some attachments today that I still found myself in, some old ways resurfacing, some limiting beliefs, some old fears resurfacing that have kept me satisfied, but also kept me from living in my fullness of joy and passion and doing the things that I really love to do. I don't know if this is resonating with you, but if it is, let me know. Let me know what that is for you, because when our heart is speaking to us, right, when we have that desire of passion to serve or to do something for ourselves that is really powerful, I want to encourage you to really step into that power and trust where it's leading you to go. Trust where it's leading you to go. I found that this limiting belief or fear was very much a part of how I was raised, being in this place of scarcity versus abundance. I weighed everything, I measured everything according to, like, what if this negative thing happens, as opposed to what if this positive thing happens. I almost never weighed the positive. And maybe you can identify with this, but I had a tendency to always go to the negative. And now I find when I do that, I turn it upside down. I don't want to look at the negative. I want to make all my decisions from an empowering position, not a limiting position. Not a limiting position. I want to serve and step into where my heart is leading me, not where my fear is leading me, right? Our fear limits us. It limits us. I made a post on my Facebook wall. It was a picture of a sandcastle, and I wrote, "We have to get out of the safety of our sandbox and take a risk to create the masterpiece of your life." And the masterpiece was this beautiful sandcastle near the ocean. It wasn't in a sandbox. It was near the ocean in the bright sun. It was beautiful. And something like that, you couldn't create that inside of a sandbox. At least it wouldn't feel the same, right? It would feel limited inside the box. It wouldn't be near the ocean. It wouldn't be big and beautiful. It would be limited in size because it can only be as big as the sandbox, as opposed to having the entire beach to build this big masterpiece. When we step out of our sandbox, a whole bunch of opportunity begins to open up for us. Opportunity that we can't see when we're sitting in the sandbox. When we're sitting in the limits of the sandbox, we can only see to the outer edge of the sandbox. We think that's all we have to work with, not realizing we have the choice to get out of the sandbox and to find another place to build our masterpiece. And so I want to encourage you to get out of the safety of your sandbox and take that risk that you're feeling your heart pull you towards. Take that risk. Trust where it's leading you. And you might say, but Dom, like I can't trust it because I don't understand how to get from here to there. You might not know all the steps. You probably know the next step, but you don't know all the steps. So you sit back waiting for the right opportunity, the right time. the perfect time. And there is never going to be that perfect time or the right time. The right time is actually right now. Just getting present with your heart, understanding what it's saying to you, where it's leading you, and then trusting, taking the step towards where it's trusting you to go. And knowing that it has your best interest at hand. I believe, I believe in God. I believe in a higher power. I believe that God and the universe are conspiring for me and not against me. God has never let me down. He's never let me crash and burn. Um, if I've crashed and burned, it was because I made decisions, usually based out of fear, that I crashed and burned with. I didn't follow my heart's leading. I followed what I thought was the right thing as opposed to what I felt was the right thing. And when I do that, I tend to experience like I have a 50-50 chance of getting it right or wrong. But when I follow where my heart is leading, it's like never wrong. It's never wrong. And every experience, maybe I might not have had in taking that decision, I might not have had the experience I thought I was going to have, but usually it's exactly the experience that I need and leads me to the next place that I need to go where my heart is desiring to have me. And that's really been my journey for the past 4 years. And these 4 years have been the most amazing part of my life. Of the 54 years I've been on this planet, I've been following where my heart has been leading me. And as a result, I feel very empowered. I feel free to live the life that I want, not according to the rules of society necessarily. And I've also seen this come up in my parenting and how my kids are starting to grow up in this too, because I want to be the best role model for them to stand in their power, for them to do what their heart is leading them to do. I don't want them to do what I think is best for them. I want them to do what they feel is best for them. I want them to love what they do. I want them to have a passion and joy for what they're involved in, just as I am, because there is nothing like it when you can wake up and look forward to what you're doing and how you're serving people every day and loving the relationships that you're in and looking forward to seeing those people who you feel really connected to, as opposed to just kind of getting by and in that place of scarcity, or in that place of, like when I was working in corporate America, feeling trapped in a job because I didn't know how I was going to earn a living doing what I would love doing. So I kind of stayed stuck there and didn't take any action until I was laid off. And then I kind of at that point, I made the choice to step into this. But this time, I'm recognizing that I still have some old tendencies, and I am saying yes to where my heart is going. I'm not allowing myself to fall back into old tendencies. Sometimes we have a tendency to fall back into old tendencies. And the most important thing is when that happens is to course correct, not quit, because sometimes we have a tendency to want to quit and we throw in the towel. Instead of doing that, course correct. Set yourself going, take the next step and course correct in taking that next step toward where your heart is leading you. And that's kind of like what I feel like what I'm doing now. I am not quitting. I'm not giving up. I'm just course correcting. I'm taking a different path and following where my heart is leading me to go. And it's part of the journey, right? As long as we keep taking steps forward toward where our heart is leading us to go, we can never go wrong. We'll wind up being exactly where we need to be at the right time. It's almost like it can feel magical, and like miracles can kind of happen for you. You're allowing miracles to happen for you when you open your heart up and you allow yourself to follow where your heart is leading. And so that's what I That's what I want for you. I want you to experience miracles. I want you to experience the magic of what it's like to step into doing something that will serve you powerfully, that will serve other people powerfully, whether that is in a career, whether that's in relationships that you hold, whether it's in the relationship you hold with yourself in some way. Maybe it's an aspect of your health, your financial health, or your physical health. Maybe there are things that you need to let go of, or attachments that you need to let go of, so that you can step into that next thing more freely. We have to do this. Sometimes we have to let go so that we can let ourselves grow. We have to let go to let ourselves grow. In fact, I would almost be willing to say we always have to let something go to allow ourselves to grow. When look at plants, right? When we have a plant, we'll plant something in a pot and it'll grow so much, but a plant can't outgrow the pot. At some point, it stops growing, and then it can even die if it doesn't get put into a bigger pot. And that is kind of like the energy of where I'm at right now. I feel like I put myself in a pot, but I need to break out of this pot and put myself in a bigger pot, if you will. It's time. So, but there's risk in putting myself in transplanting myself into a bigger pot. Like, what happens if the roots don't take, right? What happens? But I can't focus on that. I'm not going to spend my energy in all of the what ifs and the fear of the roots not taking. Like, no, like I'm looking forward. Like, I'm going to be in a bigger pot. Like, I'm going to have more space to grow. I'm going to be able to do more of what I love. And like, that is the energy that I am approaching this with. And that is the energy I want to invite you into doing this too. So if this is speaking to you, let me know. Like this video, share this video, because I want to reach as many people as possible with this message. I'm working to grow this channel to get this message out more. I also have a free online community called ProEmpowerment Online, and you can see that. I'll put that in the description box below. It's free to join, and I talk a lot about different ways that you can empower your life, different aspects of your life. So if you're feeling stuck or frustrated, or you're looking to get ahead, but you just seem to be spinning your wheels, or maybe you're in fear of taking the next steps, like, this is where you want to be. This is where you want to be. And I want to be able to help you. I'm in there every week providing content to inspire you. And I've also got some courses in there that you can take. There's a couple free ones. There's also some paid ones in there you can take a look at as well that I'm offering. But I want to be able to offer these resources to you, because there is nothing worse. There is nothing worse, having done it for 10 years, being stuck in a job and just surviving and getting by. It almost felt like death by 1,000 cuts. And if I could do it all over again, I would have made the decision right off the bat. I wouldn't have wasted 10 years of my life. And I have vowed to myself, when I recognize this kind of thing happen, not to sit and delay, but to get on it, like to begin making the shift and course correct now, not wait 10 years to make that correction. Yeah. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you have thoughts about this, because even after the live, if you're watching the replay of this, say in the comments, #replay. I'll know that you're watching the replay, and I will respond to your comments, because I want to be able to support you. And again, if not here, if you want to do it more privately inside the private community, join that link and hit me up in there. So it's Friday today. I hope that you have an amazing Friday, that you continue to trust your heart where it's leading you. I chose this background with the balloons because balloons go up, right? We get a bigger view of the world when we allow ourselves to go up. We're not stuck on the ground. When we say stuck on the ground, we don't have that same higher view of possibility of what's all around us. And so I want to invite you to allow yourself, if just for a moment, to give yourself an opportunity to step into your own little balloon and allow yourself to rise, to see what's possible. Because I guarantee you, it's more than you're thinking. You're so much more powerful, and there are so many more opportunities that are available for you. So try not to sit inside the sandbox that you may have put yourself in. Don't go stale inside that sandbox. Live in your passion, step into your power, and show up in everything you do with that passion, with that joy, with that verve, if you will. Like you really want to be there, you really want to be present, and you really want to be doing what you're doing, as opposed to just scraping by and getting by. I hope you received this well. I hope it was valuable to you. And I look forward to connecting with you in whatever way will serve you powerfully. Love you all.